Hello and welcome. The Vauxhall Forenzas and some Magnums were a 1970 sports coupe. They had big thirsty engines which became unpopular. The models were discontinued, which left Vauxhall with many unused coupe body shells. To use these, Vauxhall created the Viva E, which was a coupe body with a small economical engine. We have one of these, we've had it a long time, in gold, as most of these cars were. Our project is to create a modern Brabham Viva. We're stripping it down and starting by fitting a Volvo 740 back axle. The Viva had a neat rear axle arrangement, but it's not strong enough for the engine we're fitting. So the Viva axle, springs, shocks and locating beams have been removed, and a used 740 axle had its suspension parts removed too. To mount the Volvo axle, I've bought a TXR Performance Volvo 740 drift style suspension from Sweden. This is a very well made and a strong kit, and it'll cope well with the S2000 engine to be installed. Some adjustment, however, is required to the Viva to get everything to fit. These are the original Viva suspension mounting points, and that's a box I've made for the coilovers, and there's my welder. Ace metalworker Dave fabricated two mountings for the new suspension bars. The pads were welded into the Viva floor and strengthened, and the bar mounts were bolted to them. We measured a good ride height, and as advised, I set the axle at that height. Lateral movement is controlled by the panhard rod. This came with the axle. I rebushed it, gave it a lick of paint, and with the axle at its correct height, I could fabricate the chassis mounting with the bar as horizontal as possible. The Viva axle's torque reaction is controlled by two links to its differential casing, like the Ford Cortina's pig's head. The Volvo 740 has two bars fixed to the body. These bars are longer in the new kit, needing the Viva floor to be cut away and a mounting built in the car floor. With the floor cut away, I fabricated a section to weld onto the floor, which located the plate which the suspension is bolted to. I cut the holes in the plate to weld it to the floor securely. The torque bars have the same fulcrum point as the suspension arms. This tube fits into a Volvo 740 chassis crossmember. I cut it off our kit. I checked the fixing plate cleared the prop shaft. I supported the two torque bars, keeping them parallel with the suspension arms. I've kept the 3 bars parallel. They all have the same pivot point, which is really good design and should make for a good handling. At every step I've measured and checked the insulation. This looks good. Let's weld. I welded the plate on the floor and I braced the mounting plate. I gave it all a spray of etch primer and then some seam sealer. So that is now the underneath finished. So the next step is inside the car. So until next time, bye bye and thanks for watching.